So in today's video we are going to learn this cubical typographic animation inside of After Effects without using any third-party plugin. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So as always, here we are in After Effects. We will create a new composition and we will call this composition as our main animation, because this is gonna be our main playground. And in width I will choose 1920, height I am gonna choose, let's say, 180, frame rate is 30, and duration I'm gonna choose, let's say, 30 seconds only, and background color I'll choose white color, and I'll simply hit OK, and then I'll hit OK. I'll make this into fit. Now in this animation we will learn two types of concept. One is looping animation, and then 3D camera animation, etc., and obviously the typographic animation. So we will create another composition and we will call this as side, and width I am gonna choose 1080 and height also 1080, and we will hit OK. Now we will open our calculator, and now we will type 1080 divided by 5, which is our 216, sorry. So I'll hit another composition and I'll call this as strip, and over here we are gonna put this 2160 as a height value. So I'll type 216, not 0, sorry, height, and height I mean width is 1080 and height 216, frame rate is 30, and other things are gonna same, and simply hit OK. Then we will choose grid and guide option, and we will hit title section, then press Ctrl Y on keyboard to create a BG. I'll call this as white BG, and color I'm gonna choose white color, and simply hit OK and hit OK and lock this layer. Now we will choose our text tool and we will type whatever text we want. I'll type typography text, hit Ctrl A to select this text, go to the character menu, and font color I'm gonna choose black color, and I don't want any stroke, so I'll delete the stroke for now. I'll type something like this, typography. Now select this text, press Ctrl Alt Home to align this anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Press S for scaling option and scale it like this. Now I'll select this text and I'll hit Ctrl D, and we will change the color into lavender, and I'll hide this. We are not going to animate this layer. Select this text, press P for position, create one keyframe over here and go to around 3 seconds, and with the help of our selection tool I'll move this thing out of this composition. Make sure to hold shift like that. So as you can see, we will get this kind of animation. I'll move this keyframe a little bit over here. Now go over here, I'll unhide this layer now, and I'll select this text, and now I'm gonna make it parent with the second one. If you're not getting these options, like, you can simply F4 to switch between these modes. Now in parenting and linking, I'll select this first layer and make sure that you are at this keyframe, and then you have to parent this with your second one. Now if you see, we will get something like this. Now all you need to do, alt click on the stopwatch and type loop out expression on it. So if you see, we will get this continuous looping animation. So our strip is now ready. Now there is another thing you need to do. Select your what we call rectangle tool and make sure that you are not gonna select any fill, and for the color I'm gonna choose black color, and simply double click over here, so it will create one strip, and I'll increase the stroke width like that, something like this. Now go to the side option and bring your strip over here. Now select the strip, and in align tab click on the align top. Now hit Ctrl D, move this downwards, and as you can see, it's not proper at the edge, so hold Ctrl to snap it at the edge. Again hit Ctrl D, select this over here. First bring over here and then hold Ctrl to snap it. Again hit Ctrl D, bring it downwards, then hold Ctrl to snap it. Now hit Ctrl D, again move it downwards and then hold Ctrl to snap it. Sorry, like that. If you see, we will get this kind of animations. Now I'll select this second one and the fourth one. I'll right click, I'll go to the time and I'll choose time reverse layers. So we will get this reversible animation. Now I'll select this second one, I'll go to the effect and presets panel and I'll search for tint effect on it. And all you need to do, simply swap this color so it will change black into white and white into black. Now select this tint effect, hit Ctrl C to copy, select the fourth one and hit Ctrl V to paste it. So if we play now, we will get this kind of animation. Now we will go to our main animation comp. We will hit Ctrl 0 to open our project window and we will simply select this side and we will bring it down. Now press S for scaling option and make it 50. Or let's say make it 30, like that. Now select this side, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it and move this over here and then hold Ctrl to snap it at the edge. Now select this one, hit Ctrl D, move this over here and then hold Ctrl to snap it at the edge. Same procedure we will do. We will move this over here and then hit Ctrl to snap it. Sorry. Same, hit Ctrl D, move this over here and then hold Ctrl to snap it. Again we will select this, we will hit Ctrl D, move it downwards and then hold Ctrl to snap it. Now I'll select this one and as you can see the anchor point of all of them at the center. So we need to move this anchor point. So I'll choose my pen behind tool and I'll move this over here and then hold Ctrl to snap it at the bottom. Select this one, hold Ctrl to snap it at the edge, like that. Like that. Now as you can see, our anchor points are adjusted. Now we have to name it properly. As you can see, this is the middle one, so I'll hit enter over here and I'll type middle. Select this one, hit and select this one and hit enter and I'll call this at top. Select this one, hit enter, I'll call this as left. Select this one, hit enter, I'll call it as right. Select this one, hit enter, I'll call it as right 2. Select this one, hit enter, I'll call this at bottom. Now select all the uppermost layers and make it a parent with this middle one. Now if you move this, as you can see, we can move all of them. Now there is another thing we need to do. I'll hit Ctrl A to convert these things into 3D. Now as you can see, if I hit R, we will get 3-dimensional rotations. Now over here in view, as you can see, we have so many options, and in camera we have so many options. So in camera I'll choose custom view 1. So we'll get this kind of view. Now we all know that this is the middle one, this is the right one, etc, etc. So I'll hit U again and then I'll hit R to open the rotation properties of all of them. I'll select this top one, go over here, and on x-axis I'll make it -90. So this top one is -90, so I'll select this one and we need to make it +90 on x-axis. Now this is the left, so we have to rotate it on y-axis on +90. Because this is +90, so this one is right one, which is on the opposite side, so it should be -90. So I'll make it this -90. Oops, sorry, there is another thing we need to do. We have this right 2 and we need to make it a parent with this right. So I'll select this right one and I'll rotate it on y-axis +90. Oh sorry, -90. Then we will select this right 2 and we will also make it -90 on the y-axis, like that. So our cube is almost ready. Now we will go to the active camera, like that. Now we will choose grid and guide option, and now we will right click new and one null object, I'll select all of them and I'll make it a parent with this null one. But before that, there is another thing we need to do. Don't make it a parent with anyone. Go to the top view, select this null and convert this null into 3D and move this null at the center of it. Now as you can see, this null is at the center. Now select this middle and make it a parent with this null one. Now instead of top, I'll go to the active camera, and because all the our remaining layers are parent with this middle one and this middle is parent with the null one, so if I rotate this null one on any direction, as you can see our whole cube is rotating, and if you play, as you can see, all the sides are gonna do their respective animations. So our cube is now ready. Now we have to create a separate composition for this cube, so I'll select this null one. I'll increase the size of this cube like that. I'll select all of them and I'll press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose it, and I'll call this comp as cube, and then I'll hit OK. So this is my cube. I'll enable this option first and I'll convert this into 3D. Now I'll select this cube. I'll press R for rotation. As you can see, if I rotate it, you get something like that. Now I'll select this cube. I'll press S for scaling option and scale it like that, something like this. Now we will go to the top view. I'll move this over here, scale it like that. As you can see, we are on the top view, so we have to duplicate these things. So I'll hit Ctrl D and I'll move this over here. I'll hit Ctrl D, I'll move this over here. I'll hit Ctrl D, move this over here, move this over here, and I'll move this thing over here. So we will get different duplicates, and we will go to the active camera view. Now because we are on the top view, so they are on same axis of X. Now we will move this upward, we'll move this downward, we will change the positions on y-axis also. Move this thing over here like that. Now we will go inside this cube. I'll select this null one, press R for rotation, and we have to rotate it on y-axis only. So I'll click on the stopwatch and I'll type time into 50. So it will rotate this thing on y-axis. So if we see our main animation, instead of full, I'll choose quarter. As you can see, we'll get something like that. Now I'll select all of them. I'll press R for rotation. I'll create one keyframe on each axis, and I'll go to around, let's say, 18 seconds, and I'll make 3 rotations on each and every axis. So if we see now, as you can see, we'll get something like that. But this is the rotation is same, so we have some variations. So for that, what we will do, we will move this last keyframes one forward and one backward, so it will create alternate rotations, like one is fast and one is a little bit slow, and one will take a little bit extra time to complete these 3 rotations. So now we will get different speed for each and every rotation. Now I'll select all of them. I'll press S and I'll increase the scale a little bit like that. If you want, then you can change the position of them like that also, and you can go to the top view. You can move this a little bit backward also. Now if you want, as you can see, we haven't created any keyframe on the position. So because of that, if you go to the top view, if you want to duplicate it, you can duplicate it. All you need to do, hit Ctrl A, hit Ctrl D, bring all of those things at the top, and we will move this thing over here. So as you can see, we have certain things over here also. Now instead of top view, I'll go to the active camera view. As you can see, we have these cubes over here also. Now our all cubicle animations are done. Now we have to animate our camera. So for that, I'll right click, new, and I'll create one camera, and I'm not gonna change any settings over here, and I'll simply hit OK. Or right click new and create null object. This is going to be our camera controller. If you want to increase the size of cube, you are free to do that. I'll increase a little bit size so it will complete my whole composition. So I'll select this camera and I'll make it a parent with this null 2. But first of all, you need to convert this into 3D, and then you have to parent this null 2 like that. Now I'll choose a quarter resolution but right now I'm gonna choose full. So I'll select this null 2, I'll hit P, and as you can see, I'll move this over here. I'll create one keyframe over here, and I want this animation to around 8 seconds. So at this point, I'll move this null 2 over here up to this one. So if you see my animation, I'll choose the quarter resolution. We'll get something like this. At this point, I'll hit N. Select this camera AA to enable these options, or you can simply click on this options also. And in preset, as you can see, we have this 50 mm. If you choose 20 mm, as you can see, we will get a certain things weird. So I'll hit Ctrl Z again, double click on it, and if you change the angle view, as you can see, we are getting this kind of changes. So make sure to choose an appropriate value. I'll choose 39 like that. Now over here, as you know that we have these options like focus distance, zoom out, etc. So I'll zoom out a little bit, and if you want, then you can enable the depth of field. So but you need to know that it will create a little bit heavy files. So right now I'm gonna show you how to enable depth of field and how to adjust it. So if you enable depth of field, as you can see, we are not seeing anything over here, but if you go to the top view, you will see this extra line over here. Suppose I'm enabling this depth of field, as you can see, this line disappeared. If I enable this is the line of focus. So if I move this focus thing over here, so it means now the camera will focus on this object, and all the objects beyond this or in front of this are gonna blurrish. So if you go to the active camera view, now this thing is focused on this one, but these things are not blurry yet because the aperture value is very less. If I make this 200, as you can see, those things which are on the background are gonna be blurrish. If you can increase the blur value to 200 also, so it will blur a little bit more. So if you see, the objects who are in the front are gonna clear, and objects which are beyond that will look blurrish. Now I'll go to the top view, and those things who are over here, I'll move them a little bit in front like that. I'll move the focus distance over here. Let's see on the active camera view and make this blur value to 100 only. If you see now in a quarter resolution, as you can see, this thing is focused on this one. You can increase the aperture value to 400 also to create more depth of field. It totally depends on you. I'm gonna make it 250 like that. This looks good to me. And if you want, then you can animate this focus distance also. For example, I'm gonna choose quarter resolution now, and I want from 2 seconds. Now I'll create one keyframe on the focus distance, and around 3.5 I'll go to the top view, and I want this thing, I mean my camera should focus on the objects which are over here like this, and I'm gonna choose my active camera view. So as you can see, if I make this full, now these things will focus on these objects which are over here. It will take a little bit time to load this. If you want more details, you can increase the blur level. You can easily see the shift of this focus distance has changed very well. Now this thing will focus on these things. Yep, this looks good to me. Now after that, you can select those keyframe, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and you can right click keyframe assistance and time reverse. So from this one, it will again focus on the front ones. Now there is another thing you can do to create alternations. You can simply go to the side, right click new, and you can create one adjustment layer, and you can apply tint effect on it. You can swap these colors, so in whole animation you will get this swap of colors, so it will change the entire thing. Or you can choose different colors also, so it will change the color of each and every one. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this one. Let's make it bluish, and I'll hit OK. I'll hit Ctrl D. I'll hide this one. I'll make this red, and I'll hit Ctrl D. I'll make this black, and I'll swap this. I don't want this thing. So we will now animate these things. The first thing we will do, we will go to 1 second. Now as you can see, we have one adjustment layer with blue and white combination, then second one with red and white combination, and the first one which is over here with black and white, which is our default thing. Now first thing, we will select this one. I'll hit enter and I'll call it as blue, so it will easy to be understand. I'll call this red, and then I'll call this what's called white, or let's say black. Hit OK. Now select this and I'll move this thing over here. Press P for position. I'll create one keyframe over here, and in 2 seconds I'll create another keyframe. Go to the start and I'll move this over here. With the help of snap, I'll snap it at the edge. If you see, we'll get something like this. Now around 2.5, I'll select this red one and I'll move this over here. Press P for position. Select those keyframes, hit Ctrl C. Select this red one, enable it, and hit Ctrl V. So we'll get something like this. Now after this, I'll select this blue one, and now I'm gonna make it a parent with this red one. So because of that, this blue one will go over here, and this red one will appear. Now after that, around let's say 4 seconds, I'll enable this black. I'll move this over here, and I'll copy these positions, hit Ctrl C. I'll select this and I'll hit Ctrl V. And now I'm gonna select this red one and I'm gonna make it a parent with this black one. Now select this black, hit U. So again we will get something like this. Now select all the layers, hit at this point around 5.5, Alt, close bracket, and I'll select all of them and I'll move them around over here 15 frames. So it will animate from here, here, and then here. Now select those keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, and with the help of shift I'll move this thing over here and move this thing over here. So now if you see, we will get this animations, which is a certain shift. Now after that, all you need to do, select those things, hit Ctrl D. I'll move this thing over here, and now we will move this things over here. Because our main animation is up to 8 seconds, so we don't need that much things. So in our full, I'll make it quarter, so we will get this alternations. Now if you see that this is all this happening at the same time. But if you want the variations, what you need to do, I'll hit this option. So with the help of this key, as you can see over here, I don't know what it's called, you can maximize this. All you need to do, you need to move this forward, backward, and you have to create the alternations for these compositions like that. So with the help of that, the animation timeline is gonna different for all of them. Now I'll select all of them and I'll move them over here. Now again hit this option. Now if you hit play, you will get this kind of alternations over here. Now there is another thing you need to do. If you think this white color looks quite weird at the background, so there is another, you can simply hit Ctrl Y, and if you want, then you can create a black background also. So if you see now, we will get this kind of effect, and after the final thing, you will get all the animation related to camera, etc. Now right click new and create one adjustment layer and bring this adjustment layer at the top, and you can apply glow effect on it. Increase the glow radius, glow intensity should be 0.5, and glow threshold up to 80. So we will get this kind of typographic animations. So in today's video, we have learned how to create the looping typographic animation in cubicle format. With the help of that, we have summarized our camera techniques and how to manipulate the 3D objects, etc. In my next video, we will learn about the what we call this character explainer animation videos, etc. So that's it for the today's video. We will see you in the next one. If you want to watch more typography tutorials, I have created a separate playlist on my channel called as Typography Tutorials. In this playlist, you will find more than 60 videos related to typographic tutorials. So link is available in the description, so do check it out now and increase your skills in typographic animation.